In a time and place when you can work from anywhere.
Two ladies in their mid to late 27s are deciding to.
And they're calling it workationing.
Are we about to make the biggest mistake of our lives?
Is this music the soundtrack to our downward spiral?
I feel like Nickelback would be a stronger choice for that.
I've had a panic attack every day for the last week.
I wake up crying.
Why are we doing this again?
It doesn't matter. We're past the point of no return.
We doused our lives in gasoline and threw a match on that bitch.
We leave in 2 days.
Jesus.
Take the wheel and pass the bourbon.
This is the Workationing Podcast.
This call is being recorded.
Hey, girl.
Hey.
So how's it going?
All right.
I'm gonna say, like, we're just gonna laugh for half an hour and then hang up.
It's like a nervous laughter. I had this whole like laughing/crying jag that happened recently, and it was just like my body was completely overwhelmed by a whole slew of emotions, and it didn't know what to do with itself. And so I was just kind of hysterically laughing and crying and looking like a really crazy person.
No, I've been going back from being back and forth between being like manic and just being like catatonic. Like,
Yeah, that sounds about right.
like, was it yesterday? No, it wasn't yesterday. It was the day before. Like, I have a million things to do. And I was like, okay, I've got to get home. I've got to do all this stuff. And I was like, nope, 4-hour nap. Like, because my body just shut down. I just got so sleepy. I was like, I can't with anything. And I still have so much to do, and like my family wants to see me, and so I'm like, well, you can go with me today to the bank and the post office and my old apartment, and
Would you like to help me organize my storage shed in case I need to have you access something while I'm gone?
right, would doing my laundry make you feel close to me? Because I have an opening.
Oh my God. All right. So where were we last time? Last time we were in a hotel room. We were in the Radisson in Manchester, New Hampshire.
Yes, we were. And I feel like we really went through it on that trip. Like, I had so much fun with you, but I do like the end of that trip definitely ended with like kind of dual mental breakdowns, crying in the cell phone lot at the airport.
Oh, I had completely blocked that out. We did. I drove Kelly to the airport, and it was just such an emotional time because I came to these realizations that it was just like, all right, well, I've definitely got to break up with Tom. My friends and my family think that I'm pretty crazy for doing this. I mean, they're supporting me, but they're giving me a kind of like shady side eye, like,
Yeah, so much side eye.
like, are you really going to be able to make your business work? I have had people pull me aside and say, Carrie, are you aware that you are responsible for the livelihoods of 12 different people? And some of these people are mothers that have families to take care of. I mean, not that those people are valued any more than, you know, the single people who don't have families or
Right.
kids to feed, but they still have their own mouths
But
to
if I
feed.
have to move back in with my mom, I'm not dragging my 4 kids with me either.
No. And I feel like I was actually offended by it because like I'm not fully aware of that. It's not something that I think about every single day. And yes, I do think that I'm going to be able to do this. I have created systems in place. Like, I'm getting all riled up about it. But at the same time, I'm terrified. So
Right.
I guess I can't get too upset about it. I just
No, I've had similar things, like not with the business stuff, but I know that I've had like, you know, like my parents, like other people, they're like, you know, like you're in your late 27s. And like, you know, you should really be saving for retirement. And like, while you're on this trip, you really need to be putting money back. And when you come back, like ideally, you know, you should come back with like $10,000 saved. And I'm just like, that, like, like that is not even, I can't even tell you whether or not that would be possible because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know where we're going. I don't know what we're going to do. I also like we're able to do this. Like we budgeted it out. Like we know what our budget is. Like we know what we're going to do. But I like there's no like wiggle room for like let me put this back for retirement in this plan. You know what I mean? This is like a I'm taking this one opportunity and like running towards it kind of a plan. And then whatever happens when I come back, I'll put my shambles of a life back together if that's what has to happen. You know what I mean? And like, and so like I get so pissed when people come to me with that shit. But at the same time, I like in the dead of night, I'm just sort of like, is this going to result in me just like coming home, just like destitute and like
All of this-
directionless?
All of
I'm
this
like-
leads to us crying in a parking lot at the airport, the Boston airport, in my
Right.
car as the rain is coming down.
And we're like, this is great. We can't wait to go on this trip.
This is going to be so wonderful, isn't it?
Right. But I think the fact that because I think we had some minor freakouts in LA too, like late night. Because we went to LA since then, Carrie and I.
Right. Oh my God, so much has happened. So we were in a hotel room in Manchester, New Hampshire. We drove to the airport, parked for a while, had a good cry, hugged, parted ways, and then really soon after that got a lead from this Hollywood production company, and they were looking for a PR agency for this project. And so the whole team, in the midst of Kelly and I having to deal with everything associated with like actually untethering our lives and kind of disconnecting to the point where we can go on an extended trip for the next 6 months or a year, we had to drop everything and fly to West Hollywood.
Right. And in the middle of this, you had just broken up with Tom and moved all your stuff out and like we're living with friends. And so it was super late after the pitch. And we had like the pitch went well. Like we landed the contract. It was awesome. We had a great day. We went out and celebrated. But then like late night back at the hotel room, we both like freaked out. And I remember you just being like, are we spiraling? Are we spiraling right now? Like,
Is this what a spiral looks like?
and I was like, I don't know, Carrie. Like, I really don't know. I was like, I think this is progress, but like progress and spiraling at that point when you like take that step out and you don't know if you're going over a cliff, like they look very similar. Like,
They do, don't they?
like, are we breaking free from our chains or are we having a nervous breakdown? Hard to tell.
Okay, so as we said, I broke up with Tom. I'm not proud of this. I did it over the phone. I dropped you off at that airport, and then my friend Carla called me as I was driving home from the airport, and she was like, hey, listen, my husband is flying to California for the next like 10 days, and she has this big old house, you know? And she was like, do you want to come and keep me company? Because it's like creepy being in the city by myself. I mean, Manchester is pretty safe, but the hard streets of Manchester, New Hampshire.
Right.
Anyway, I was like, ding, I will jump at that opportunity because although I don't think we really got into this in the last podcast, but the real reason we were in Manchester was because my boyfriend was just not on Team Kelly.
No, I was the other man come to steal his woman. Which, like, I can't really blame him too much for that resentment. Well, that paired with the fact that it's his house and I just kind of like showed up with like 36 hours warning. And was
Okay,
like, hi,
listen, but I had lived there for a year and a half, and he makes such a point or made such a point of saying, this is your house. I want you to live in it with me forever. And I just, it was clearly not my house at that point.
Yeah.
It was so clearly not my house, and we had so much work stuff that we needed to do that I just didn't have the space for any bullshit. So we left the house, holed up in a Radisson for a few days, and knocked a bunch of work out. But like, I shouldn't have had to do that. So it was kind of the last straw for me. And is that too personal? Maybe.
No.
Well, I mean, it is what happened. It is what happened. So Carla calls me, and I'm on my way to Tom's house to tell him how frustrated I am and that this is, and I was like, sure, Carla, I'll come stay at your place for a week. And so I go home, pack a different bag, because at that point the bag that I had packed for the Radisson needed to be washed at least, and headed over to Carla's house. And then the next day I called Tom and broke up with him, and we had already had that hard conversation twice. Like, we had broken up twice, and I just never quite made it out the door. And
the first breakup so rarely sticks. You've got to try a couple times.
Well,
and you know what? I don't blame you for doing it over the phone either. And I say that as somebody who, like, one of my ex-fiancés, there's been a few. Because that's where I am with commitment. Broke up with me over the phone. And I remember just being like so particularly pissed about that. But at the same time, it's like, no one's ever broken up with me in a way that I was like, you know what? Like, what an asshole. He never should have broken up with me. But, the way he did it was just like really nice. You know what I mean? Like, there's no great way to break up with somebody.
It was amicable, though, and then it took me way too long to get all of my stuff out of his house. So I thought that I was going to be able to fit everything into a 10-foot box truck, because all of my stuff is going to fit into a 10 by 10 storage facility, right? So called some friends, felt so empowered as I rented that U-Haul and then drove it. And in a box truck, it's really great because you can't see behind you. Yeah. There's no rear view window to look at. They don't even have rear view mirrors.
No, it's just a lot of trust.
You've got these big mirrors on the sides that never. They have two positions, and neither of which are for me.
Yeah.
So I have to kind of lean over to see. Anyway, I did it. I did it twice, in fact, because first time, not enough. So I ended up renting a truck twice. And the second time was in a snowstorm, because once you start running out of time, procrastination is just, I have learned a lot of things about procrastination over the last several weeks. Yeah. I don't know about you.
No, it's ridiculous how much I have been, because I put my stuff, like, you've been on a shorter timeline. I put all of my stuff into storage at the end of September. And so the fact that I'm still dealing with shit, like, I'm still tying up loose ends from my old apartment. Like, how? Like, I don't understand why it always has to be to the last minute with me. It just does.
I got rid of Cooter. The Honorable State Representative Michael Costable took my cat.
Oh, he's the Honorable Cooter now.
He is. Cooter has a fancy daddy, a new daddy. Nice. And I got rid of I sold my car yesterday, actually. So it is December 30th. I sold my car December 29th. We are leaving. I have a cab called to take me at 6:00 in the morning on January 1st. I mean, this is how down to the wire things are.
Right. And, like, in 48 hours, we're going to be about to get on our plane from Newark. Like, we will have already been on one flight. Oh, God.
I still need to organize I call it a locker, because I've got a locker now. I've got a storage locker. I need to organize that. I need to find my checkbook. Gotta find that. Need that.
Yeah, it's been like a minute since I've seen my passport. I should probably put my hands on that.
I've got mine right on my nightstand. I know exactly where that is. We need to figure out, so we're going to Madrid, right?
Yeah, which I think is actually a really good idea, because so the thing that we had talked about was, so anyways, where do I go with this? We can get this part out. I think it's a really good idea that we're going to Madrid, because I think it's going to logistically make more sense for us to cut over to Europe a little earlier than we had planned to for a lot of reasons, mostly that we need to be back in California in the summer, like probably in July for Astroglide stuff.
Yes.
But it also like completely, I really had like had my wardrobe figured out under the assumption that we were going to be in the Caribbean for like 3 or 4 months.
Right.
It's a whole different ballgame when you're like Puerto Rico to Madrid in February.
Yes.
Like, I bought some fancy new boots, but I will be wearing them to Puerto Rico because they cannot fit in my suitcase. Like, that's not happening.
That's what I have to do too. I'm going to wear my warm clothes because, by the way, it's snowing here.
It is here too.
We got like a foot of snow last night.
We got like a dusting.
Oh. Welcome to New Hampshire.
Yeah.
In the winter. This is why I'm like, hey, let's go somewhere beachy. Please, anywhere beachy. I don't care what beach. I just want it to be warm, and we need to learn how to surf or die trying.
Maybe more of column B for me, but
this is going to be rough.
It's going to be so bad.
You know what? Honestly, I just... I feel like I deserve it at this point. I'm just like beating myself up over the fact that I still have so much left to do. And I've come a long way. Really, all that I need to do now is pack up the rest of my stuff, decide what I'm fitting into that carry-on bag.
Yeah. And it's difficult because I had this like perfect capsule collection going, but it was all like in tropical colors. You know what I mean? Because honestly, like Puerto Rico versus Madrid in February is 2 totally different color schemes. Like, let's be real.
Yes, although it's supposed to be an average of 55 degrees in Madrid in February. And that town looks crazy. And I've been digging into the digital nomad Reddit groups or subreddits and Facebook groups, and Madrid's super baller according to just about everyone.
Also, I've been digging into OkCupid, and there's way more cute guys in Madrid than there are in Puerto Rico, at least on OkCupid.
Oh my God.
I'm always like really on the dude situation.
I can't even with the dude situation. So there are benefits and drawbacks to cutting ties and going on a grand adventure. And I mean, the drawbacks include, there have been crying jags. I've been having nightmares about running out of time.
Yeah, I've been having nightmares.
Crazy nightmares.
Yeah, I've been having all kinds of insane nightmares, like really bad ones. We've both kind of been on our farewell tour, and I'm kind of getting just, you never realize how much people love you until you try to go away. Like if I stayed here, we would just continue to hang out like once every 6 months, like we always do. But like when you're leaving, there's like this real sense of urgency. It's almost like ex sex. You know what I mean?
No.
It's like,
I would like to be there for you and say that I don't get it.
It's just like you get to enjoy all the good parts and like be all nostalgic and like all of that without any like real commitment of any kind.
I don't think I've ever done that.
Ex sex? That's the best kind of sex that there is. That's the only point in having a boyfriend in the first place. So eventually you can break up and then have sex after.
No. Because like by the time that I'm done, I'm just so done. So done.
Oh, this last one I was just done. I didn't double dip on that one. Although the breakup took like 8 months. So, but I'm always down for one more. One more for the road.
Okay, well, more power to you. Maybe at some point I'll experience that, and I'll tell you. I'll tell you all about it. Then I'll compare it to when we left for a workation. But I will say that the going away stuff has been really wonderful. Tonight, in fact, my friends are throwing me a going away prom.
That is so cute. I love that.
There's a disco ball in the living room.
I need pictures.
On a motor. I'm going to send you so many pictures. I should post them on the website too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
We should do like a going away photo montage.
Yeah, I've got some really good ones.
Because, I think tonight's party is going to be pretty great. And tomorrow's New Year's Eve.
Right.
Do you have plans for that?
Yeah, luckily, so my friends and I, like our core squad, it's for years, it's been that we do New Year's Eve at my best friend Jess's house. You met
Mhm.
Jess. And they like she and her husband do like an amazing job every year. It's like the fanciest, most wonderful Thanksgiving, oh my gosh, New Year's party you've ever seen. But this year, instead of doing it there, we're going to do it in my friend's apartment up in Lakewood, which is like 5 minutes from the airport, so that I can just like get an Uber to the airport in the morning instead of like because otherwise I'd be like an hour away. And I mean, my flight leaves at like 6 a.m.
There's
So
that.
I'm really excited about that. That's going to be nice. It'll be like a nice little cozy last night, but I'm like for sure going to still be drunk on the plane. Absolutely.
I'm gonna keep it low key.
Oh, good for you. That
I'm
sounds
gonna
very
keep it
mature.
low key. Well, I mean, rumor has that there are some hallucinogens floating around, and that could be an option on the table. I don't know if I want to go there.
Tonight or tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night. Tomorrow, like during the day.
Oh man.
Best is a day party, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. You'll be I just can't wait to see the state that we're in. So Carrie and I are both flying into Newark, and then we'll be on the same plane to Puerto Rico. And I'm like really excited to see what state we're in when we get to Newark. It's gonna be a mess because I have to go out tonight too. Like I have to because it's Ronda Rousey's comeback fight, and like
Oh
I'm
my
not
God.
missing that. So, but of course, like the title fight doesn't fight till like midnight or 1. So,
So can I please paint a picture of where I am right now?
yeah.
So the prom, the going away prom is, so I stayed at my friend Carla's place for a month. Broke up with Tom, stayed at her place for a month with her husband. And did the whole guest bedroom thing. I was their Kato Kalin. And I don't like to wear out a welcome. My other friends, Randy and Melissa, own the house next door, which is even bigger than Carla's house and has a podcast studio in the basement as well as a video production studio in the basement. So I am now their Kato Kalin, and I was able to get some video assets produced for the Content Factory thanks to their sweet setup down here because they're into the Bitcoin podcasting.
We need more friends with podcast studios and video studios.
Oh, it's so sweet. They're building out another room that's kind of like an isolation room that has, they're doing something crazy with rock insulation, and they have something like 600 pounds of rock insulation in the walls right now, and they're just tricking the place out, and it's super cool to see. And I'm going to miss this place because Randy, the owner of the house, this is the house that Sriracha built because he wrote the several Sriracha cookbooks that have sold really well. And I live with a professional chef is what I'm getting at.
Ooh.
So life is good here. And the Sky Palace, as they call it, because it overlooks the city of Manchester and has some sweet floor to ceiling windows that it's really cool.
That was super smart to get on the Sriracha train.
Yes.
That was a good, I admire that hustle, I gotta say.
He's been on Dr. Oz and everything.
Wow.
Randy is super legit and his cooking is amazing. And he created a dinner menu for tonight's going away prom.
Oh, I love that. My friends are like that. They're all like, I can't cook shit, but my friends are incredible. And they're like, we're doing this sous vide pork tenderloin and like all this like fancy stuff. And they're just like, and I don't have to do anything but just show up.
So that is definitely a perk of going away.
Yes.
Your friends and family showering you with love and going away parties and saying nice things about you. Well, also still there's like a hearty 40% that are throwing the quiet shady eye.
Just a little bit. Just a little.
And have you become just like a man magnet?
Dude, like I don't even have time in the day to catch all the dick that's coming at me.
Cannot even.
Like it's the most intense thing ever. And it's just like people who like never expressed any interest ever, and like people just that I've never even met before, and just like coming out of the woodwork. But I swear to God, you say to a guy like, I'm leaving and I don't know when I'm coming back, and they're just like, oh yeah? Like, I think I'm in love. You're like,
Oh my God. I was like getting date requests via Twitter DM. And I'm like, can you please let the tears dry on Tom's pillow first? Like, what the
right,
fuck is this?
right,
You are
right.
not being classy and you do not know me that well, sir. Like, I need
No,
to find, I won't say if it's an accountant or an attorney or some other professional service provider, but I need to find a new one because he like hit on me in a way that made me feel uncomfortable. When he found
right?
out I was leaving, I was just like, what is this? No.
Yeah,
Hard no on that.
it's been awkward. And what's been weird for me too is that like I've gone on like a ton of dates in the last couple months, but I haven't been like, I think partly because I'm leaving, I haven't been real interested in getting like serious with anyone. And for some reason that sort of like, I'm not quick to return a text. I'm like, it's really easy for me to just blow somebody off because I'm like, what am I investing my time in? And the other, you know what I mean? Like, do I really want to invest my time in this person that I've known for like 5 seconds and like, yeah, we could hit it or whatever, and that might be cute, but like, or I could go and like, this is the third to last time I'm going to get to go to, Wednesday drinks with these people or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I've chosen my friends over a lot of these opportunities. And some of these guys are like, I would actually consider, you know what I mean? But I'm kind of in this like, I think I'm just leaving kind of way. And I'm not really thinking about that. Like, I don't really want to get tied down in anything here. I don't want to catch any feelings. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's made me like utterly irresistible. So like, maybe I'll hang out with you. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll blow you off 3 times and then hang out with you and then blow you off the next time again. Like, for some reason, dudes really like that. And I'm like, what's wrong with you people?
Some guy was like, I just think that you're marriage material. And I was like, I will make sure to forward that feedback to my ex-husband.
Right. Like, I will make you regret that statement, sir.
So that's been kind of fun. Like I was wondering if I was going to, because I haven't been single for like 10 years, basically.
I've been thinking about this and getting so excited about the fact that you and I have never been single together.
No.
And I think that's going to be really fun.
I went out on a Tinder date.
Oh, the Tinder. I got Tinder and I right swiped or left swiped, whichever the one that is no.
Right.
And I got to the end of Northeast Ohio. And I was like,
Okay.
well, never mind.
So here's what you can do with Tinder is Carrie's Tinder hacks. You can set your location to wherever you want it to be. So New Hampshire is it's a small town. New Hampshire as a state is a small town.
Yeah.
And but Boston is just right across the border. And Boston is where Harvard and MIT and all of the fancy smart people are. So
Right.
I set my location in Boston and started swiping. And there was a Harvard professor that I
Nice.
was going to go out with, and he was pretty dreamy, I have to tell you. But he was hardcore in the Hillary train, and I did not vote for Trump, obviously, but I'm a loser libertarian. I'm just like used to not winning. But I didn't vote for Hillary, and so
so he was done. He was outie.
he tapped out. He was like, I can't do
Man.
this. And I was like, all right, fine.
Hardcore.
No hard feelings, but I mean, I appreciate your commitment. And, Donald Trump did become president in between the time that we recorded the last podcast and now. That was a thing that happened when we were in West Hollywood for the pitch. The day we got to California was election day. And we sat at a table with our waiter waiting for the election results to roll in. And that was such a crazy trip.
It was so brutal. Thank God for the just really wonderful edibles of Southern California for getting us through that.
Oh,
Because that was rough.
I ate so many tins of chocolate covered blueberries.
Those things are pretty fantastic.
They were amazing. And yeah, so where was I going with this? Donald Trump.
Oh, the guy who wouldn't date you.
Oh, the guy who wouldn't date me, right? So I was like, all right, there are other fish in the sea. And really, all I wanted to do was go out on a date because I just wanted to see what that would be like, you know? Found
Well, you
some
want to
other
flex, you know? You want to be like, so, like, what, like, can I still pull the top shelf dick?
dates.
Like, where am I at? You know? Because it's hard to tell, especially once you're in your late 27s. You know what I mean? You're like,
It's
where,
so true.
like, turns out if anything, I feel like I just get better and better all the time. My
Yeah,
game is so on
found
point
out
these
that
days.
Stella does not need to get her groove back because she never lost it. And I ended up out with this guy who, you're a sapiosexual too, aren't you?
Totally. Absolutely.
So sapiosexuals, how would you define that?
I mean, I find all kinds of like men and women like attractive, but I don't get like really like turned on by somebody unless they can like dazzle me with their intelligence. And then it's like, I don't care what you look like, where you come from, like, let's do this.
So Wiktionary.com defines it as a person who is sexually attracted to intelligence or the human mind before appearance, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love, I mean, it's nice to be with somebody who's attractive, but I cannot be with somebody who's stupid. In fact, I prefer exactly the opposite. So I was like PhD hunting. I was looking for interesting people on Tinder, and I found one. And this guy, like, comes to the area, you know, a couple weeks a month, and he owns a couple of marijuana farms. I was in like Colorado or something. And I was like, well, that sounds like an interesting dinner date. So let's try that. And it was awesome. And I met a really cool guy who told me a lot about the marijuana industry, which I'm, you know, very interested in from a business perspective. I would love to have a weed client.
I know we chased them for a while, but it just, I feel like it was like a weird time. Just in terms of like where things were getting legalized and like what was going on. I
Right.
feel like we can try again.
Well, you know, Matt, my friend Matt, at the Marijuana Policy Project, he wrote the legislation that Massachusetts just legalized marijuana, and he wrote that legislation.
Oh, yes, Matt. I got to talk to him late at night because the other thing that's been happening is I feel like we've been having a lot of like midnight conversations.
Yes.
I have to say I love your drunken midnight calls from a hotel somewhere with your next brilliant scheme. It's like my favorite thing.
See, well, sometimes I just like I could open up the email, but then I'd rather just have like real-time feedback
Yeah.
and not
Yeah.
forget the but I mean, I feel like I have a solid 33% hit rate on those.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's all grist for the mill, as they say. But it's been good. I think that we've had to like check in with each other a little bit too. You know, like
Well, yeah, because I feel like
I'm getting so much attention from my friends and stuff, and that's amazing. But at the same time, like you're the only person who really knows what I'm going through right now.
oh, and it's really something, I have to tell you, because like I said, my body doesn't even know what to do with all of the stress. So it's just gained 5 pounds.
Yeah, no, everyone's looking at me just like, I'm kind of worried about you. And I'm like, worried about me? Why would you be worried about me? Get out of my face. What's wrong? Nothing's wrong with me. And then I just go and like cry and like fall asleep. And I'm like, I don't understand why everyone's so concerned. These assholes need to leave me alone. Like, I'm a borderline crazy person right now. Like I'm about to fall over the edge.
Oh my God. Yeah, but it's going to be, it's just all of this stress and all of this just selling my car was not a fun experience. I would not. It's my own fault for having 2 cars in the first place. Why?
Have like almost the same car.
It's the exact same car. I had the first Z4 and the new Z4.
Gotta catch them all, man.
I had Zelda and Zoe, and I had to get rid of Zelda because Zoe's a lease.
Right.
And that mechanic bill was rough to get it into like sellable shape, and then nobody wants to hear about my sad story about selling a car, but I will tell you this piece of advice for those of you who are considering an extended workation of your own is plan everything that you need to do in order to untether your life and attack it maybe a week before you leave.
Yeah. I love that the whole point of this is to encourage people to do what we're doing. And we're just basically like, we've been crying for like 3 months now.
Yes. Yeah.
So
I really think it's going to be great.
It's going to be really fantastic. And I want to die.
It's I think that once we're on the plane, it's going to be such a huge sense of relief. And then you and I are just going to be in our own world where people like might think that we're weird, but we won't care because we'll have each other.
Yeah. And we always have so much fun when we travel together. Even though I'm sure I'm going to be on death's door by the time I actually get to Newark, I'm sure that once I see your smiling face, I'm going to be ready to go.
Can I please tell you that the last time I flew to Puerto Rico, I ended up stranded in Miami, and the flight there and actually getting to the location took what felt like 3 days. And I just kept getting drunk at various stops because I thought that like, oh, all right, well, the plane's going to come and then I'll be at, optimal buzz level to pass out in case there are any screaming babies. No, the airlines and the weather just kept failing me. And
oh, man. Well, at least if we can both get to Newark, even if we get stuck, we can like split a hotel room at least.
I think that it's going to be fine. I checked the weather forecast and we'll see. But it's going to be great in Puerto Rico. And just to like, the reason why I'm going to take it easy on New Year's Eve is because number one, I'm probably going to get college drunk tonight. It is prom night. Number two, it takes forever to get to where we're going. So you've got a 6 a.m. flight to Newark. Mm-hmm. And then I start my day at 6 when I leave for the airport. Then we get to Newark. Then we go to San Juan. Then we've got to get a taxi or an Uber.
Right.
And go to Aguada.
Yes.
So, and that's like an hour from what I recall. It might even be an hour and a half.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty intense.
So it's going to be a long travel day. And by the way, you're going to be all bundled up for the Ohio winter, and also because you're not going to be able to fit all of that stuff in your suitcase. But when you get to San Juan, you're going to be hungover, sweaty, and so hot.
Right. This sounds great.
Listen, I have done this. I have been on this exact train before, and I'm telling you, you might want to pump the brakes and wait for the next one because it was not a pleasant cab ride being the most hungover and so hot. And poor Elena was in the cab with me, and I was just like puking into a plastic bag in the back. The cab driver was just like, oh man. He got a very good tip.
You are a puker though.
I am. I will puke at the top of a hat. I can't. I've
got an iron stomach.
We should probably cut this part out. I sound like a drunken train wreck. I'm like, and then Brink had to peel me off the floor at the airport in Miami.
Who doesn't get drunk when they fly? I don't even understand how that works. Whatever. People can judge if they want to. I get drunk. Also, it's not like, listen, who's not hungover on New Year's Day? We have the gumption to get up in the morning and get on a plane. Don't judge me. When you're going to sleep until 1 p.m. and then like eat a greasy breakfast.
You normalize it so much. I Listen, Ellie, we can rationalize this however you want to. I'm just saying I don't want for you what I experienced, which was puking in a cab for however long it took to get from one side of Puerto Rico to the other.
Well, we'll see what happens. I might have to learn this lesson on my own. I do have like a black belt in justifying my shitty behavior, though.
So, what are our goals for Puerto Rico besides learning how to surf?
So I would like to meditate every day, even if it's only for 15 minutes. That's not something I've ever been good at, but a lot of people have told me, sung the praises of meditation, and I feel like
Do you
that
have the
might
Headspace app?
You know what? You're the second person who said that to me, and so I feel like I need to get that one.
I have it, and I've used it. I love it. I don't use it as often as I should, but pretty cool. And I would like to meditate too. We need to work out because is it the cortisol? My body is just like, it feels like it's in fight or flight mode. And it's felt like that for the last 3 months.
No, it's like that for me too. And it's like, it's stress. Because I started out being like, I'm going to lose weight before we leave. And like, that's just gone completely out the window because it's like, I'm so stressed out all the time. And like, I'm a firm believer that you only have so much like effort to put forth in any given day. You know what I mean?
Right.
And even just mentally preparing for this takes a lot of effort. And so I've felt spread really, really thin. On top of the fact that I have actually been spread really, really thin. And I think that just happens. But I would really like to reprioritize. And I'm hoping that once we actually get there and all of this preparation part is done, and we will have really simplified, because let me tell you, that international carry-on is small. I'm hoping that I'm going to have more like headspace for it. You know what I mean?
It is. Yeah. And just to recap, we are actually doing this trip with just a carry-on roller bag.
And that's not just our like,
you got a new luggage. What luggage did you get?
I got a lovely, it's not a Tumi, it's a Samsonite, but it's really, really nice, and it feels very, very roomy on the outside, which is exactly what I was looking for.
Perfect.
Because I need to pack my tropical / winter in Europe wardrobe. Plus, all of our podcasting and video equipment needs to go into our 2 carry-ons and our 2 personal items.
I'm going to go so minimalist on this trip. It's going to be great.
Here is my shirt, and here's my other shirt.
So you like these yoga pants? How about this one pair of jeans?
Right. I know I'm so stressed out over the fact that I think I'm going to be able to bring like 1 pair of yoga pants. What will I do?
Do we need more than that? So here's the thing. I'm bringing 7 pairs of socks and underwear.
Yeah.
Because you run out of socks and underwear first.
Right.
And then I'm bringing the gray pair of denim pant legging things that I'm wearing. I've got an ankle black pair and a pair of jeans. So that's 3 pairs of pants. I have some wispy little nothings of dresses.
Me too. I bought a bunch of like tissue paper thin like dresses and camis that I feel like I can just stack and roll.
That's what I'm gonna do. That'll be my tropical collection.
Yeah.
And I'm wearing boots. I got rid of all of my stuff, Kelly. Like, can I just tell you how many pairs of shoes I got rid of? And I had so many pair of Converse and so many pair of heels that I wore like once. And I had literally dozens of Banana Republic dresses. Like,
right.
My closet could have been a Banana Republic store. And I wore maybe half of them ever. So many of them still had the tags on. And I cleared all of that out. And, it felt really good. And I don't want to go back to that. So I don't want to be buying a bunch of stuff when we're on the road, since I still already have so much. Like, I got rid of so much shit and I still have so much shit.
No, it happens every time that I move that I get rid of more clothes than most people have. And I still have like 3 times as many clothes as that left. And like, I bought new stuff. I bought a few new things for this trip, and like I know everyone thinks I'm crazy because I still have like mountains of other clothes. Clothes are like the one thing. Everything else in life, it's like I need nothing. I need like my laptop and like a few toiletries. I'm like, I'm good to go. But for some reason with clothes, I really want to break myself of that. You know what I mean?
Because
don't
you
wanna
end up
feel
wearing
like I
the
have
same
to-
stuff over and over again anyway.
I wear 3 outfits, maybe. I wear and like with the working from home thing, I swear I'm in my pajamas all the time. I've got like my pajamas and like my formal pajamas. Like for if someone's gonna actually look at me
Right.
while I'm in my pajamas.
So
So yeah, I'm excited to simplify.
and so we are going to be what, like a little less than a mile away from the beach?
Yeah, and so I would really like to get to the beach every day because I think that in of itself is just like no matter what, even if we're working really hard, that gets like at least some like walking and exercise in.
Are we going to do a Fitbit and keep track?
It's hard. I have to tell you this. I actually hate Fitbits. They like feel very like tyrannical to me. They
Okay.
ask, but I can try. I can try if it'll.
Well, I
we
just
need
want to
to.
be able to actively track and measure progress and
Right.
hold ourselves. The whole point of this is, yes, we're going to be in this exotic location and doing these cool things and drinking margaritas or whatever on the beach, but we also have just a metric ton of work to do.
Yeah,
Like
we really do.
We've got some
It's
really big
absurd.
work projects coming up in 2017. We've got a big Hollywood call.
We do. Trying not to think about it too much.
I can't even. Oh, and we have a call with that other agency on the 3rd to talk strategy.
Right.
So, I mean, we have to, sure, we can hit the ground January 1st hungover, but on the 2nd, we need to have our game faces on because, like, there's just too much to do. And a big part of making sure that all of that gets done is holding each other accountable. And so, tyrannical Fitbit or otherwise, I'm not tied to the Fitbit idea, but like, it's really important to me that we hold each other accountable, and a way to objectively do that is to look at numbers.
Okay, that's fair. I can do that because I mean we do have an insane amount to do. Like when I look at what we need to do over the next 3 months, it's like it's enough work for like 6 to keep like 6 people very busy, and there's 2 of us.
We do have an
So,
assistant.
This
We've
is
got
true.
Kendra,
We've got Kendra.
and Lindsay is our audio engineer.
Yes.
And I mean, we do have a team. We have a support network. I would really like to meet some other people who are doing this. And I've been digging into those subreddits and, like I said, those Facebook groups, and they kind of cut out into 3 main camps, and I'm not really sure where we fit in. So the first is vagabonding, which, like, I checked out that subreddit, and there was literally advice on how to, like, hop trains.
Pass. Hard pass.
Hobo style. Kelly.
I mean, I admire it in principle, but I'm not that girl.
Listen, screw your Samsonite. You need a hobo bindle and a stick.
No, thank you.
You need to know what time the trains run.
Oh my God. No.
And I don't think that they're all like that, those vagabonds. But a lot of them are like doing it for like $10 a day, and it's not like they have careers or jobs that they're working at. They're doing what they need to get by. And I mean, they're living a really cool lifestyle. I admire them for it. It's just that's not where I'm at.
Exactly. I admire, but not me. Mm-mm.
Right. Then there's the different, like, what are they called? Year abroad groups.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's like 30 to 80 of your closest friends
Right.
from around the world staying at different places. Do they stay for a whole month?
Yeah, most of them stay for like a whole month, and then it like runs for like 6 months to a year, depending on the program.
But it's
that
like
all
$5,000
sounds like-
a month, right?
Yeah, and it sounds like hell to me because all the reviews I read, people are like, "It's great. It's like that. It's like your first year of college," and I'm like, I don't want that.
They live
at
like
all.
dorm style, and can you imagine rolling up to a restaurant with that many people? The kitchen would go crazy. The service would be terrible.
Way to make everyone local hate you.
Oh my God. And how many people of that group are going to be obnoxious and drunk and just
Right.
the kind of people that you don't want to be around?
No, I don't want to be chained to people that I don't get to like pre-vet at all.
And it's completely outside of your control.
Well, and also it's nice to like have a companion. Like it's nice to have like you and I, like we're going to be a team. We're going to do this together. It's going to be awesome. But also like we're going to be pushed to interact with other people and we want to. Like you and I love to get to know different people and like make friends and to like soak in the local culture. But I feel like if you just show up with your own like village, you're not really getting the local flavor.
No.
You're just getting like America in wherever you are. And I don't want that. That's not what I'm traveling for. I can go to Applebee's by myself here.
Or Sir Restaurant, which your review of Sir, we put it up on Workationing, and it is one of my favorite things that I've ever read. That video of you is amazing.
That was a special evening. It really was.
So that's at workationing.com if you want to check it out. As of right now, it's the first like leader photo on the website. But if you go to Workationing and search around for Sir Restaurant review.
I had so much to say.
Kelly had a
it's
lot
like
to
3,000 words. And I'll probably never be, I'm sure I'm blacklisted at Sir.
We had such a memorable time.
It was lovely. It really was.
In its own way. It was lovely. So, yeah, I can't imagine the restaurant situation, but that's kind of like the I forget what they're called, but like year abroad places or something. And then there are like the digital nomads, which I feel like is the camp that we fit in the most. But a lot of these people are kind of off on their own, doing their own things. And in a lot of the threads that I read, these people struggle with loneliness and they struggle with holding themselves accountable and taking their businesses to the next level. And it's easy to get burned out. And a lot of people are in this cycle where maybe they're freelance writers and they're writing, 500-word blog posts for $10 each. And sure, you can get by on that. And, some places, but that's not exactly what we're doing. And I think that tying each spot to a specific goal and bucket list item is going to help us. It's going to force us to live as intentionally as possible, which is really, for me, the whole purpose of this is to have really cool experiences, but like have them because I'm building my life in a certain way that supports that.
Yeah. And as much as we're both really excited about this just being like the most kick-ass trip of our lives, I think both of us are going to feel really, really let down if like that's all we have to show for it at the end.
Right.
I think we both want to like really accomplish. We have some pretty hard work goals that we're running towards. And I think some personal goals that we're running towards. And if all that happens is that, we have some crazy nights and some crazy stories and, we get to see some different places. That's
and
all
we keep
fabulous.
our jobs.
Right, exactly.
And I don't burn down the agency.
Right.
It's just not even an option for me. And like, I do work from anywhere anyway. Like I've already been doing this to a large extent. I'm going to keep doing it. It's just going to be in a slightly different time zone. That's the other thing with a lot of these places is that they're working halfway around the world. And I just can't be in that kind of time zone situation that far away from my team and my clients.
Yeah, I feel like at some point down the road, I'd love to check out like the Southeast Asia digital nomad situation because that seems like it's pretty hopping, but like that's just so not realistic for us. It's just not when you've got like an agency setting.
No. So, I mean, we're going to be able to figure this out, but figuring it out isn't enough for me. I know that you're in the same boat and we're both really ambitious people. And so like, let's run at that, but be smart about it and keep track of as much as we can. So our bucket list thing is going to be surfing. I can take you to see the hepatitis monkeys on Monkey Island.
I would love to see the hepatitis monkeys. And the other thing is that Bio Bay, because I feel like you've been talking about that Bio Bay.
And I haven't gone to it yet.
It's on the complete other side of the island, which is kind of a bitch.
Well, there are 2 bio bays, but the good one is on the other side of the island. But I mean, we can rent a car. And here's what I'm thinking. So we're actually going to have some guest stars rotating in for this leg of workation. I think my friends William and Alex, you met them at that wonderful libertarian club in New Hampshire.
Craziest night of my damn life.
We have to talk about that at some point.
Yeah, well, maybe when they're around.
Do you know how many people have gone to that place and just had a crazy time, and then like they have to go home and try and explain it to their friends, and then they just can't even?
No, exactly. It was so. And listen, I am no stranger to weird underground clubs. Like, the weird underground clubs are kind of my jam, and the Quill was the weirdest place I've ever been in my life.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so but they're gonna come, and they're probably gonna spend like a week with us, and then I'm thinking we could just rent a car, and they're gonna want to see Monkey Island and also do the Bio Bay, so we could just make a day of it.
That would be awesome.
And then it splits the cost 4 ways instead of 2, because the cost with Monkey Island is in renting the boat. There's this wonderful man named Paco that he's just like this old charter boat dude. And he is wonderful, and he loves his job and is so good at it, and he'll let you take his kayak out there, but you get to snorkel and you get to hang out with some monkeys. Not actually hang out with them. You can't touch them because they all have hepatitis. The monkeys at this place broke out of a research facility of some sort. I don't know. Anyway, it's a really interesting island though, because it's the only place where like monkeys rule the island. There are no people there. The monkeys all have hepatitis, and
I love that this island is like the beginning of some sort of like disaster epidemic adventure movie that like just never quite got off the ground because they were like isolated on this island.
I don't know why more people don't talk about Monkey Island, but we can go there. I've been there before. You can't actually go on the island, but Paco will get you as close as there are security cameras, and if the boats take tourists there like too close, like they get contacted and get in trouble. So he was like,
gosh.
but I haven't done this in a while, so I'll get you as close as I can. And he got us so close that I accidentally ran aground Monkey Island in my kayak while taking photos of the monkeys.
Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. This is the stuff that like gets me through the crying jags.
Well, and on the way to Monkey Island, there is a shipwreck that we snorkel at, and you get to like check out some cool fish and a wreck ship.
I'm excited. It's going to be so good, dude.
And then we're going to do the email newsletter. Is that the work goal? Is the email newsletter?
Yeah, I would really like to get our we have an email newsletter, but I want to rebuild it from the ground up, and I would really like for that to be finished by the end of January.
And I just created you some video assets. I am still wearing my hair extensions from the video production that I did last night at the Sky Palace basement.
That's amazing.
I sent you some photos of the progress.
You did, and it looks really great, and I can't wait. It's going to be that's a lot. Like doing that in January is going to be a lot. Like we're talking probably like 50, 60 emails that need to be written, queued up, and we need to move forward with creating some more digital assets. We need to create some more products. We need to streamline some things about how purchases are made on our website. It's a big project. And but I mean, I think it's doable in a month if we get real serious about it. And it is easier when you and I are in the same place, because we can pass things back and forth a lot faster.
Okay, I'm about that life. We can do that. And then the bucket list is surfing and the Bio Bay.
Yes.
And you need to see, I've already seen Monkey Island. I need to hold the monkey. That's still on my bucket list, but seeing one is close enough. And we can pop a bottle of champagne once we get there.
Yes.
And I think my friend Angela is going to come out.
Nice.
Oh, you met Angela. You met Angela in LA.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, she's cool.
Yeah, Angela Keaton of antiwar.com. So
Nice.
she is fabulous and she is in need of a tropical vacation, as we all are. And she wants to come check out Puerto Rico because Puerto Rico is amazing. I've been to lots of different beaches. I know you have too, but like Puerto Rico is its own thing. And I am geeked, super geeked.
I'm so excited. I've never been there, so it's going to be fabulous.
Oh my God. And we're going to have those video assets to work with. And poor Lindsay is going to have to edit out JJ's frustration of me. I mean, I had a teleprompter and everything. But you know how that goes. So many outtakes.
It's fine.
So many outtakes. And then I get a clean cut and I'm like, well, I need 2 more clean cuts so we have options. And JJ was, but the last one was perfect. I'm like, no, 2 more. Gotta have options.
Yeah.
So I was happy to have the help and I'm glad that that's done. And I hope I didn't lose a friend in the process.
No, I'm sure it's fine. And I'm glad we got it done before we left because we are going to have to figure out how to make videos like that on the road, which is going to be a whole other thing. But at least that's not like a problem that now we have to tackle like immediately.
We could probably ask around on these Reddit forums. And I'd love, 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 love to meet up with people and talk about how they make it work. And especially the ones that are really successful. Like I'm most interested in the people who are doing what we're doing, but are like doing it on the level of, I don't want to say Tim Ferriss because I feel like we mentioned him. But like he's been a huge inspiration.
Mhm.
And I like what he has a dog on the road, I think.
That's like, I can't even with that. That's
No.
too much.
You know, when I got rid of Cooter, one of my friends was like, you know, Carrie, you got like 20% hotter the second you got rid of that cat. And I was like, I felt 20% hotter. Like I had at one point 2 cats and was just dancing on the edge of becoming a crazy cat lady and working from home and just living that life.
I love my cat though. I don't care if she makes me unsexy. I feel like I'm gonna miss my cat more than I'm gonna miss like 99% of people. But it'll be okay.
Okay,
Well,
so we should probably wrap up because I have to go get ready for my going away prom.
yes, you do. And
I have to dig a dress out of storage.
and I have like 40,000 errands to go run.
Okay, so I will see you in like 2 days, not even. By this time tomorrow, or by this time 2 days from now, we're going to be on a plane to Puerto Rico.
Yes, we will.
Oh my God. We actually did it. Can you believe it? Do you remember, side note, I know that we said we were just going to wrap, but do you remember when I was out in Ohio and you were like, are we sure we want to wait until January? Because we could do it like December 1st.
I'm so glad we didn't do that.
Were we on crack?
We were. Well, because it seems so long.
5 months. It was 5 months that it took.
Right.
That we had from, because it was like July 31st that we had that conversation.
Right. Well, we had so much other stuff happen too. Like, I feel like we had a lot of wrenches thrown into the works, just work-wise. You know what I mean? Like, we had, like, what, your oldest employee, Elena,
Yeah.
move on to a great position, which was, amazing for her.
5 years she worked for TCF. And yeah, I was, she left with the highest of high fives and the sweetest of parting messages and gifts. But like,
And we're really hoping she's going to come join us on workationing at some point.
That would be wonderful.
Because
She wants to.
Because she's the most fun and we love her. But
she left, and then that meant you got Astroglide. So you are now the social media manager and PR lady for Astroglide.
Yeah, which I absolutely love. But then like all of my other duties are kind of hard to transfer to someone else. And so it kind of created a whole thing. That
we made it work.
Yeah, and we've totally made it work, and it's been good. But it definitely, I think, like changed our timeline in a way that like made December 1st. That would have been crazy. Like that just wouldn't even have worked.
No, and plus we had. When did we go out for that Hollywood meet? Oh, it was on Election Day.
Yeah, it was November 8th. We went to LA and we were out there for a while. Like there's no way it wouldn't have worked.
We got some like good workation time in LA.
I loved LA. I had such a good time.
We actually we blogged about LA. We had some really good food in LA.
Yeah, we did. That's all on Workationing. If people want to check it out, we've got blog posts about LA. We did Venice Beach. We had some of the sketchiest / best mimosas I've ever had in my life.
Oh my God. Is literally Fanta and Prosecco. And it gave me diabetes, I think, but I knocked back three
We
of them.
did so much. We went to SUR, we landed a big Hollywood account, we got pool time, beach time.
Full time beach time, cab time, so much Uber time because it takes a minimum of 45 minutes to go anywhere in Southern
Yeah.
California. That
Yeah,
traffic
that's
was
really
so
the only
brutal.
drawback.
I
It
loved it
was.
there. It was so wonderful, but I could not live with that traffic. The people
It's
are
just like giving up so
beautiful.
many hours of your life. They're so beautiful.
Like yoga pants and cool yoga pants. Like I have seen trends in yoga pants, which are going to hit Manchester in about 5 years.
Yeah. Well, everybody there is either on the way to or from the gym because like you have to be to look like that.
We still wear that outfit, but like it's on the
I'm
way
not doing yoga in that.
to or
That's just so
from
that like
my laptop.
yeah, no, my yoga pants are more so that like I don't realize like that I've gained 5 pounds.
Honestly,
I need the stretch.
I mean, I don't know if we actually want to put like a pound number on it, but I would love to drop some lbs in Puerto Rico because I was watching some of the video playback and was like, can we selfie angle that camera a little bit more? I need you to put that thing on a couple of books. Do we have some dictionaries we can stack? And top down, please. I need like
We're going to
MySpace
get you more
angle
used to the
circa.
camera though, because I
Ah.
feel like you always have a mini meltdown after the camera stuff, and I feel like it's just going to take.
I have to completely disassociate myself from it because it is not a comfortable place to be. But like the company has grown to the point where, and our traffic has grown to the point where I need to explain certain things to people, which means that I need to be on camera and I shouldn't be weird about it, but it's weird to see yourself and it's hugely uncomfortable. And it's like, it definitely pushes me outside of my comfort zone. But it's something I'm going to have to get over. Right now, I just kind of like put on my blazer, step in front of the camera and tell myself like, all right, this is on camera, Carrie. Do this for a while and you don't ever have to look at the results. Kelly can do that for you.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
so this is going to cease to exist to me the second that it leaves my hands and goes into yours. And then it'll just exist and other people will see it and I won't have to think about it.
We'll work on it. I've got plans for you.
Oh, God.
You know I love to push you. But you know what? I feel like you push me too. I think this is going to be a really good trip.
No, I think so too. And I think that that's a huge part of our dynamic is that like, yes, this sucks, but like you've got a friend pushing you to get through it. And once you're on the other side, it's difficult to imagine why you struggled through the process so much because at that point you've done it. We get to look behind us and be like, oh, wow, we did all of that stuff. And now life is great. And we've got a new set of challenges or whatnot. But like,
well, it's because so much of the work of it, I feel like ends up being working through the anxiety as opposed to doing the actual work.
yes.
And I think that then when you get to the other side, you realize how much of that work was like the work and how much of it was just like being a nut job over it, you know? And I think we actually handle that better than most people. However, we also set goals that are like astronomically higher than most people. So it still becomes a factor.
It does. I feel like we're in a good place. I'm definitely like freaking. I woke up this morning from like in a panic from another one of my I'm running out of time nightmares. And at like 5 o'clock in the morning, I jumped out of bed and was like, oh my God, it's payroll. And did I transfer the money over to the right account? And I logged onto the account and I totally did. And like, I'm doing all of these things, but I'm doing things right, but I'm so anxious about everything that I am just like second guessing all of these things that I've got on lock. But it's just this sense of anxiety and insecurity that I am really looking forward to locking into a 10 by 10 storage shed and like stepping out into the sunshine of Puerto Rico and figuring out how I can take this to the next level.
Totally. Well, Cinderella,
I've got
you-
a ball to get ready
you've
for.
got a ball to get ready for.
I'm so excited. Okay.
It's gonna be fun. Send me pictures. I can't wait to see.
I will send you so many photos and probably a video. And the disco ball is just, I am so pumped about it. There's going to be tinsel everywhere. It's going to be the best going away prom anybody's ever seen.
I'm excited for you. That's gonna be so cool.
All right. I'll talk to you later and I will see you in 2 days.
Yes, I can't wait. Bye,
right.
girl.
Bye.